Hello, nerds. What is going on? It's been a long time. Been busy at work. And also a little bit under the weather, but wanted to do a live stream today to look at who's really trending right now for the POTUS 2024 race. Can't believe we're already talking about that, but we have an open primary that you can vote in right now at ofthepeople.us, and I'm about to review who's trending and who's in the lead based on total approval votes. So if you're interested in participating, just go to ofthepeople.us, and I'll put it in a little banner on there so you can ofthepeople.us. And all you do is you look at the candidates. You can filter by POTUS 2024. And then you can approval vote as many of those candidates as you want, and then see who's trending and who's got the most votes. So this will be a fairly short stream to just look at who's doing well. And Jeremy Salmons. Hello, nerds. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, nerds. All right, so let's take a quick look. And hold on here. Bum, bum, bum. Let's share. Lost screen. Okay, so this is the ofthepeople.us. This is what you land on. And we're going to filter this by POTUS 2024. So you click on this little pill here. And it defaults to sort by trending, which is the number of people who've given recent approval votes, I think, in the last week or so. And not a surprise given the audience for my social media. But Mr. Andrew Yang is the current trending candidate on OTP based on approval voting for President of the United States. A lot of people approve of this man. Interestingly enough, Bernie Sanders is number 2. And then number 3 is Nikki Haley. So if you look at the top 3 trending, they all come from different political parties, which is one of the cool things about the OTP open primary, that people can approval vote whoever they want, irrespective of what party they're in. And as you can see here, you've got Andrew Yang from the Forward Party, Bernie Sanders from the Democratic Party, and Nikki Haley from the Republican Party. Then you've got Marianne Williamson, number 4, and then Dwayne Johnson, number 5. It's funny how he's gotten more approval votes recently than even folks like Gretchen Whitmer, Michelle Obama, Justin Amash, I think he's a libertarian, Amy Klobuchar, Nina Turner. So those are your top trending. And then let's look at all time who is got the most approval votes. So you've got Andrew Yang, but you also have Pete Buttigieg as numero dos in terms of the most lifetime approval votes on the open primary so far. Then you have Marianne Williamson, number 3, Gavin Newsom, number 4, and Joe Biden, number 5. Now you might be wondering, well, those are your top. Who are the least approved candidates? Oh, Mike Sundrup. Hello, nerds. And Soldier One. Hello, nerds. Soldier One wants Trump to go away. Well, let's see how many approval votes Trump has gotten and how he stacks up on the OTP primary. So if you look at here, it's filtered by POTUS 2024, and it's sorted by all time. So let's go through the whole list. And there's actually 28 choices. So, and if you haven't voted yourself, go ahead. This primary doesn't close. It won't close until probably the election in November 2024. So it's never too late to cast your vote. Um, and if you want to know how to vote, all you do is you click on the candidate, and then oh, by the way, kudos to the OTP volunteer team who did a bunch of updates to the site over President's Day weekend, particularly Ian Schaefer and Aaron Sarnat. So thank you, Ian and Aaron. This is the new layout for the candidate page. Looks really clean, but if you want to approve someone, you just click on this green approve button, and it'll ask you to log in. You can log in with Gmail or other accounts that you already have, or you can create a new one with email and password. And then once you've created an OTP account, which is free, you can vote to approve whoever you want. And here, look how nice this looks. Then it has her recent tweets. Then it has other candidates to look at, and then it has like a little jump. And then if you want to submit a question to the candidate, you can do that here, and then we can bug them to see if they'll give us an answer. So let's go through this all-time list and see how they stack up. So we talk about Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders. Oh, this is trending. We'll go all-time. Andrew Yang, Pete Buttigieg, Marianne Williamson, Gavin Newsom. Interesting. Joe Biden, Klobuchar, Youngkin. I think Youngkin is the most approved Republican so far, which is really interesting because he's not like the most flashy candidate, but he's kind of reminds me of like a little bit of a Romney Republican. Comes from a business background, highly educated, was a governor of Virginia. So you can see what he's tweeting about. Combating anti-Semitism, growing the workforce. So I wouldn't call him a MAGA Republican, but he is the most approved Republican we've got right now. But let's see who comes after Youngkin. So then you got Justin Amash, who I think used to be a Republican, and now he's a Libertarian. Then Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan's from Maryland. He's kind of also a little bit like Youngkin, like one of these kind of like middle of the road. Oh, it's a nice intro. Yes, thank you, Soldier One. I will let Aaron and Ian know, and we'll be making some more improvements coming up probably in a few months. Every few months we do some volunteer work. One of the things we want to do is let you vote one click from within the feed, so you don't have to click on their profile. I think that'll be a crowd pleaser. Then you've got Nikki Haley, who's actually not a potential candidate, but she is officially announced. She actually is, I suppose, the most approved Republican of the two that have announced. Then you've got Bernie. So Nikki Haley has more approval votes than Bernie Sanders. Then you got Nina, Dwayne, Gretchen, who I think is very reasonable, but she doesn't get as many approval votes as the others so far. Chris Christie, Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris. That's interesting. As a sitting vice president, you would think she'd be garnering more approval votes, but I think it goes to her electability. I mean, people don't mind her, but nobody's really like super in favor of her. Then you had Hillary Clinton, Michael Dean, Alan Lee, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence. Then you get to Donald Trump. So if any Trump supporters are watching this and they want to support their man, go ahead, click on his profile and click the approval button. He's not doing so well. I will say in fairness that Donald Trump has gotten more approval votes than some, like AOC, more than Brian Kemp, Tim Scott, more than Ted Cruz, and more than Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo has been last in the open primary ever since we started it. I don't know. I think that basically is a good indicator that Mike Pompeo is probably running for, I don't know what the hell he's running for, maybe VP. But yeah, that's the current stack rank based on all-time votes is Yang, Buttigieg, Williamson, Newsom, Biden. And based on recent votes, it would be Yang, Bernie, and Nikki. So check it out, and if you haven't voted, please do so. Let's see. Oh, we got some comments here. Has Vivek been added to OTP? I noticed he's getting some traction. I haven't added him, but I'm happy to. Maybe I'll do that this weekend, Jeremy. Thanks for the suggestion. I will add Vivek maybe later today or tonight, and we'll see if he can land any approval votes. Soldier One says, I simply want more intelligent people like Donna Imam in government. Well, if you want, I can also add Donna to the list. But I would say if you look at the OTP list of all time, it does highlight people that are pretty reasonable and I would say intelligent, like Andrew Yang, Buttigieg, Williamson, Newsom. Although Biden does, he makes it to the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Klobuchar, Youngkin, Amash. They're all reasonable. If you look at does approval voting work? That's what you get at the top. And what you get at the bottom, you get people like Pompeo, Cruz, Scott, Kemp, AOC, and Trump. So love it or hate it, I think what approval voting does is it does sort of weed out some candidates that are really kind of either not interesting or polarizing. You could argue who in the top of the approval voting list is super polarizing, like Yang and Buttigieg, maybe Williamson a little bit, Newsom, he's kind of middle of the road, Biden's definitely middle of the road, Klobuchar middle of the road, Youngkin middle of the road. So you get a kind of this moderate, kind of reasonable middle. Some people say, hey, that's a reason why you don't want approval voting. Personally, I think it's pretty good. But yeah, that's the latest. Go vote yourself on ofthepeople.us. It's free. And let me thank some of the people that make this channel possible. And I'll also, so I'm going to give a call out. If you're watching this and you like this type of content and you want to encourage and support more, go click on that join button on YouTube. And you can be a member to support it mainly goes to the podcasting hosting fees. So if you like this discussion and want to listen on the ride home when you're commuting, go ahead and check out the Nerds for Humanity audio podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, this is available. Okay, so let's talk about our members. So we're going to start with our most supportive member, which is our senior vice president level. And that is none other than Soldier One. So let me share that screen. Give Soldier One his due. So there's Soldier One, who's been a supporter of this channel for a long time, and he's in the live stream right now. And since you're in the live stream right now, Soldier One, I got to give you a gong. Got to get the gong out for you, bro. Oh, my goodness. If anybody joins, you get the cowbell. So if you join while I'm still streaming. Soldier One, thank you for your support, bro. All right. We have other members. Maybe they're not as big members as Soldier One, but they are vice presidents. So kudos and thank you to Kristen Slevin and Bike Bikes for being VPs. Yes, thank you, Soldier One. I'm hoping to keep the channel going. through this next election. And supporters like you and Kristen and Bike help keep me going, and just keep the channel running with the hosting costs and some of the software like streaming costs, things like that. Hardcore nerds are next. You got Gene, David, DK, Jekka Lego, Kirsch, Mr. History, Mona, Vaughn, Yang, Robert, Dean, Statnerd, Galessa, J Perrin, AH, Dana, Jason, Parth, Daniel, and Mickey. And I also want to thank StreamYard, who is supporting this streaming right now. So thank you to StreamYard. They give us a good deal on our streaming costs. I think they've made it complimentary. So now the only cost for NFH, for Nerds for Humanity, are the Libsyn podcast hosting fees and some of like the photo editing stuff I use for the thumbnails. So at the verified nerd level, which is only $1.99 a month, cancel anytime. So, you know, less than like a shot of espresso a month. You've got Lisa, Albert, Brandon, Arez, Sophia, Doris, Emerald, Ben, Rasta, James, Emma, Elizabeth, Ira, Shoni, Jameson, Doctor, William, Karen, Zemery, Mai, Brittany, Lori, Warren, Wana, Lucky, Kevin, Nell, Toby, Jeremy, David, Nicholas, Mike. Oh, I think Mike is in the live stream, so I'll give you a quick gong. And if any members are in the live stream that want a quick gong, let me know. I'll give you an extra shout out. Just don't let me know in the chat. Aurora, ZigPC, N Carter, Roberto, and Caleb. And overall, let's give a shout out to our longest standing members. Total time as member. The oldest are Lisa, Jean, Kristen, Albert, and Brandon. Anna Rez and David and Sophia, all over 3 years of support of this channel. And our youngest members are Caleb, Roberto, and N Carter. So thanks to you guys for making this possible. Now, you know that Of the People site, it is also an all volunteer effort. And I want to thank the people who support that project, which is nonprofit, completely volunteer. And if you want to know more about that project, all you do is you go to, let's see, you go back to ofthepeople.us and you click on Accelerate This Project, and it'll take you to the Patreon page, and it'll show you that we have 15 supporters right now. But we've also had some other like longtime supporters of the project who, you know, may not be an active Patreon member, but they have supported us in the past. I want to give them a shout out. So if you go to here, I'll show you our list. These are our Patreon supporters, and you can see the ones that are bolded are active Patreon supporters, and then there's some who are not bolded who, you know, pitched in a little bit and then, you know, had to cut back a little. They're not bold, but I'd still want to thank them. Soldier One says, yes, thank you. I do too. We're going to keep plugging away at it. So thank you to all the people who supported on Patreon. That does pay for our GitHub, some of our software, our Amazon Web Services. There's a lot of costs to run OTP. Where did I get the gong? I got it in when I was visiting Tokyo, actually, at a market. So in order of support for OTP, Eric Sanchez, Elizabeth Owen, Tohir, Tony, Rockout, Iggy, Aaron, Rob, John, Timothy, Jessica, Trickle Up, Travis, Muhan, Austin, Byram, Mai, Christina, Dylan, Jean, Thrive, Steph, Brian, Sujan, Raul, Michael, Noah, Omar, Nathan, Kimberly, Patrick, Chance, Pat, Damien, AT, Pamela, Pat, and Sheridan. So thank you for, and the bold ones are continuing to support OTP on a monthly basis, and you can do that also on Patreon. So thanks to everybody who made this possible, and check out this beautiful aquarium setup. Booyah. We got the salt water, fresh water. All right, folks, I've got to run, but don't forget to cast your vote. Let me know who you approve of. And in the comments, I'd be curious if you're surprised that Donald Trump and Pompeo are so low. Do you think that's because OTP is only known to people who might be less favorable of Trump? But there are Republicans like getting votes here, like Glenn Youngkin, libertarians like Justin Amash, Larry Hogan, another Republican, Nikki Haley. So there are Republicans getting votes on OTP. But for whatever reason, you go to the bottom, Mike Pompeo, Ted Cruz, Tim Scott, AOC, and Trump, you know, they're really kind of dragging right now. I personally, as you probably know, am not a huge Trump guy, but I'm curious why nobody's approval voting him. Let me know. Sajuan, thank you for being a voice of reason. I try, my friend. And TV, I'm glad I'm still strong. Yes, from Nerds for Yang to Nerds for Humanity. I'd love to get Yang back on the show, actually. I was talking to some of the folks from the Common Sense Party. By the way, if you're watching this from California, please consider changing your party affiliation to the Common Sense Party, because they need to get to like 10,000 to be on the ballot. And you don't have to vote for any of the Common Sense candidates, but if you're supportive of third parties and more choice than Republican and Democrat, and you're in California, go ahead and check that out. And I actually did a video recently with, I think, Michael? Let me see his name. Make sure I got it right. Where is my view more? What the hell? This is not a good experience. Okay. Yes, Michael Maxenti from the this one. I interviewed him, and he talks about the Common Sense Party and the Forward Party and how they're joining forces. And then he also gives you a link. There's a link in the description to this video that goes into how to switch your party affiliation. Super easy. It takes like 2 seconds. All right. Goodbye, nerds. Peace out.